Hey guys, Corey again with Capavella. Really excited to be a part of this panel. They can describe themselves better than I can, so we're just going to go down the line.
I'm Megan. I'm a registered dietitian and owner of Nutrition Awareness, a private practice.
Mike Baumhoff, CTO of Capavella.
Zachary Dodson. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I own HD Counseling.
My name is Dr. Jackie Williams, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist.
All right, perfect. So this whole thing started 2 years ago. I was getting a haircut from our CEO, and he posed this question like, how do you measure health and wellness? Like, what's the number one measure? Is it blood pressure? Is it heart rate? And the more we discussed it, I was like, it's all of these things. But if you dive into literature, like I work in my own silo, you guys work in your own silo, but it's not often enough that we all come together. So that's what we wanted to do when we built this platform and when we created the Hayes score. So I guess we'll start with Megan. Like, talk about why this is so important that we have all of these people together trying to determine like how to measure overall health and wellness.
Yeah, I think in my world, so I work mostly with clients one-on-one, and it is really segmented. So especially when it comes to things like apps. So you have an app that you track your food, and then you have an app where you track your sleep, and then maybe you go see a therapist, or maybe you don't. Maybe you go see a dietitian, maybe you go see a personal trainer, or you go to a gym. But all of these pockets are completely separate from one another. So it's rare that you can actually get a good picture of what that whole person's wellness looks like. And so why I'm excited about this app is because we're trying to bring all of these disciplines into one place and look at that person like a person, and not just a how much do you work out, what do you eat, do you go see a therapist, what's your family situation like. It's everything all in one.
Earlier, Dr. Williams, you talked about the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. So talk about how understanding how to be more mindful can affect. So we all know we talked about blood pressure, we know weight, we know resting heart rate. Talk about how just taking a more overall mindful approach can impact those metrics, because we all know that those are important. That's why we go to our doctor once a year to get our physical. But talk about how understanding and being more mindful can impact those things.
Well, as we talked about before, it's not sustainable to be in survival brain. It's not sustainable to maintain being in the sympathetic nervous system. We can't maintain that. Our bodies aren't made to do that. We can't fight lions all day long. So we have to be able to come down. Our overall health, if you look at somebody who has the ability to come down into that parasympathetic part of their nervous system, they are overall healthier because their heart is healthier, because it's not beating so rapidly all the time. They have the capacity to bring it down. So when they have that capacity to bring it down, then that impacts the way their body absorbs nutrients, the way they absorb food, the choices that they make in terms of food. It impacts what they're feeling. If we are having extreme anxiety all the time, again, that's activating that survival type brain. We can't survive at that level. So when we are able to bring it down, our heart health, our overall physical health, our mental health, our psychiatric, everything comes within a balance and more manageable.
One of the new hot topics so everyone's trying to find that one marker, and so heart rate variability has been the most recent one that everyone says has got so much power. But if you dive into it, then it comes down to exactly what you're talking about. It's either fight or flight or rest and digest. So if we can do more of that, the rest and digest, we're overall healthy.
Our overall health will improve because it's teaching our brain and it's teaching our body that we need to recover, and so that it's okay. We need both, just like with anxiety. Anxiety can be really good. I don't want you to have no anxiety. That's actually pretty bad. So once we have that really great mix of experiencing both and having the control to say, I need to lower this heart rate, I need to understand that this is just a challenge and not a threat, our overall wellness improves drastically.
It's also about control. It's essential that we understand and we can consciously control those processes so that we can decide, okay, now I need this, now I need that. Be in the state of mind is what I mean by this or that.
So in my world, physical activity, honestly, it's physics, it's biomechanics. I can set first and second class levers, and I can explain to you why everything moves. You guys have to deal with the brain, and that can be a daunting task. And I can talk for me personally, have been someone who has been just like, I don't want to talk to anybody because then we might unearth some demons or something like that. But the way that we've built this, and with the tiers and with the interventions, we're not tricking people, but we're giving these people really great tools without the fear or the stigma associated with going to see a therapist. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Trying to make it easier.
Yeah.
And trying to make the relationship between everything that we do, because we know that nutrition affects your brain. We know that your physical activity affects your brain. But we want to make it easy for people to not necessarily know all of the biology and all of the techniques that you have to know in order to manipulate that effect, but to just be able to do it easy, accessible.
So we've all had our individual talks, and everyone has talked about behavioral change as important. So, you know, you have your health biomarkers. You know, those are the things that are written about in the literature. But behavior change, true behavior change, is how we make improvements. So from a nutrition standpoint, what does that look like? How can we help these people make actually meaningful behavioral changes?
It looks completely different for every individual depending on what their starting point is and what's really important to them. So what might be important to one person is taking their mile time down by a minute, but for somebody else, they never want to run a mile in their lives. It's really important for them to be able to pick up their grandkid and not worry about having chest pain when doing that. So what we're really getting down to is getting to know the person on an individual level, what's important to them and what motivates them, finding those motivators, and then going from there and coaching them in a way that's going to lead them to what those ultimate goals are. And not just saying, here's the amount of calories you should be eating in a day, go and follow this and see how long that lasts. If that doesn't mean anything to them, they're not going to continue that. We have to make it really mean something for their specific lives.
So, you know, there's 4 clinicians up here, and we all work with people. At least for me, it's person to person. I know you guys have done some virtual stuff, but it's all face to face. So Mike, kind of tell us, how do we take this data? So how do we learn what people's behaviors are and direct them to the right things? Because what we've done is we've built this library of information and interventions and things to help people, but how do we make sure that they get to them?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and what my role is to, you know, bring the smart people together and deliver it in a way that makes sense to the individual. So what we're doing is, you know, tapping into the resources that each individual has on them at all points. You know, your phone, your watch, any wearable devices. We want to take measurements from those so that we can truly understand you at an individual level. So it's easy to say, you know, don't eat 4,000 calories a day. Okay, great. What does that mean for everybody at an individual level? And Megan, you've talked about, you know, eating certain things might make sense for one person, but not the other. So we can't just deliver one message, one blog post that says, okay, only eat 2,000 calories, don't eat any carbs. That doesn't make any sense. And, you know, even from a mindfulness standpoint, it's, you know, the solution isn't everybody take a minute for deep breathing. That's not the right solution for each individual. So by bringing this all together in one platform, first, you know, we understand the interconnected nature of everything the smart people up here are doing. And secondly, what we can do is understand you at an individual level and customize each one of these pillars that we're talking about for you at the moment you need it. So understanding how your nutrition is affecting your mental clarity, which is ultimately impacting your fitness and your performance. How do we work all of those different pillars together to provide you the solution you need at the time you need it? And so that's what we're trying to do, is really, yes, we have this breadth of information that covers everything and everybody, but what we want to do is understand you at an individual level, and how do we pluck the right piece of information for you at the right moment to impact your behaviors and make sure you perform at the optimized level.
And I think that's what's so cool, and that's what gets me excited about it, is that individualized plan, right? So, you know, Megan, you talked about it earlier. you can get your information from anywhere. We've built this team to ensure that the information that we're putting out there, it is all data backed. So what I think is cool is that we can start to track your progress, and then as you start to hit these milestones, whether it's a nutritional milestone or a mindfulness milestone or a physical activity milestone, we can then introduce the next set, so the next goal or the next intervention.
All right, so what we're doing from a technological standpoint is we're bringing together all these different things, and we mentioned, we're taking the place of 5 different apps people are using, to track their calories, calm and, stay in the right state of mind and track your fitness. So all these different wearables, Peloton, all these different things, we're bringing it all together in one. So what excites you guys the most in your respective areas about having one place where everybody's bringing all this data together and we're starting to understand the whole picture? Because yes, you guys operate in your own silos, but from a user standpoint, I track my meals in one place. I have no idea how that impacts my performance, from a data standpoint, and ultimately how clear my mind is. I'm just excited to hear how you guys think this technology and what we're doing is going to be able to help improve your individual areas, for someone.
So this is a conversation that Darren and I had at the very beginning. So for me personally, when I see people, they are injured or they are down. And as you dig into it, you figure out there's so many things that could have been done before that, whether it's an overuse injury, like in order to prevent that from happening. So I'll always have that, what could I do? Because I've also worked in the training space with a healthy population. What's so cool about what we're doing is there's often so much focus on physical activity. There's so much information out there, it makes sense, and people just dive into that. People are starting to get on the train for nutrition. They understand, like, you can't out-train a bad diet. Like, people are starting to get on that. There's all much thing out there. But for me, the most exciting piece was bringing that mental health piece in, because it's something that I wasn't comfortable with. It's something that a lot of people aren't comfortable with. There's a stigma about it. So to destigmatize it in this space, to be able to, because a lot of times the people that are, so we have a lot of different backgrounds. There's people over here that are, it doesn't matter, they're going to motivate themselves, they're going to be fine. Like, they're good. There's people over here that it doesn't matter if you put $1 million on a fishing rod, they're not getting up, right? We want to capture everyone in between. And a lot of time there's fear associated with why they don't start. They don't know the information. They're afraid that they won't succeed. Well, I'm never going to be as ripped as so-and-so. So for them, it's just safer to stay put. We've built this environment, we've built this community, and now we're bringing things from all different aspects to provide you guys. We've used the word toolbox a little bit today, but that's what this is. We want to provide them with good, quality information and a new objective measurement. So, Megan mentioned someone being able to pick up their kid without back pain. If they can do that, that's success, and it should be celebrated, and it will be captured in their Hayes score, in their physical activity score. Whereas me, I want to run another half marathon. Someone could have run 10 of them last week, but for me, this should be celebrated. So each person is their benchmark. This is their own science experiment. That was a lot of talking, but I am super excited, obviously, about this.
But you're measuring yourself against yourself.
Yes.
That's the big thing. Yourself when you started, to yourself 2 months from now, to yourself 5 months from now. I think that's the big thing. You're not measuring yourself against whoever else it is. It's you versus you. And you get to track your progress, and we get to help you do that.
But we do have that challenge, so we do have that competition piece. So not to say that competition is bad. Competition is good. It spurs change. However, it's you versus you, and it's in a place where you know that you're getting good information, and you know that you can see it, like you can visually see your progress. Because your dress size might not go down, your biceps may never be as big as Darren's, but that doesn't mean you haven't made progress.
I think a big part of it is just the self-reflection that you have to do when you're using this app. I think a lot of people, we go through our day-to-day lives and we never take a second to reflect on what did I get accomplished today or what did I get accomplished this week, because we're so just caught up in the 9 to 5, the run here, the pick up the kids, the cook the dinner, the go to sleep. I have to go to sleep early, and then I've got to wake up early, and you're never really taking a step back to be like, am I moving forward in the things that are really important to me? And I think this app really helps with that self-reflection, because we're asking people the questions of, did you do this week, and how did it feel?
There's an old metaphor that I really love just for that. It's like, if there's this river, am I gonna, when I'm playing in the river, am I going to play the way that I want to play, or am I going to just get taken away in the river? It's kind of like that. I think so much of our time is just, I'm drifting. I'm going down this river. I don't know what's down the river. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's on the shores downstream. I'm just floating away mindlessly. Yeah. So I love that.
I think coupled with that is we're building that mindfulness to play in the river, but we also have this sense of community. So within the app, we have a sense of community, a sense of support, and for those who need it, it's a little bit of accountability too. So I have purpose in the river, and I have intention in the river.
And there's other people in the river.
And there's other people in it with me, which makes it even much more fun than
Who wants to be in the river by themselves?
I'm getting taken away by the river.
Where's this
Absolutely.
river?
Leave it to Zach to have a really great metaphor.
Yeah, social health it's another one of those things that is kind of being talked about more, but it's been proven in research that if you have meaningful relationships or meaningful interactions with people, that you will be successful. So yeah, it's awesome. One-stop shop. Download the app.
There's actually a study. I think that you might be able to correct me, but I think it was at Columbia University that was done that showed how they actually like got a whole bunch of rats addicted to heroin.
Yes.
And then they set the rats in different settings to see like if their social behavior would change based on, or if their addiction would change based on their social behavior. And absolutely did. The number one thing that was proven to help them not be addicted to heroin was their society. Like if they had social interaction with other rats, and the ones that did were able to not actually stay addicted to heroin.
I understand why they have to do that with rats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there would be an issue.
The cages were different, the way that they were set up, and the activities were different within each cage. And the ones that had more social interaction and more activities together were overall healthier than the ones, and were able to not be addicted to heroin anymore.
And I think that's one of the things why we're doing what we do. So, you know, you look at nutrition apps right now. I'm never going to compare myself, you know, how much lettuce did I eat versus you? It doesn't make any sense. But maybe some negatives in there, but but what we're doing is, you know, we're changing how you view health. It used to be you're in this silo, and within that silo are additional silos. So your eating's over here, working out here, you know, mental clarity and strengthening. A lot of people didn't even have in the silo. So bring that all together, and then create a community around it and make it acceptable to focus on these things. And I think what we're doing with wearable technology and being able to track these things, we're taking the expertise that you all have that typically you would have to set up an appointment and go visit someone to get that information. We're bringing it to you. It's in your pocket. You don't have to go visit someone. You don't have to have this stigma of, you know, all right, am I going to go see a nutritionist? Do I want to do that? Do I have time to see a physical, you know, trainer? Do I want to see a mental health specialist? You know, it's in your pocket. It's private enough, but you're within this community of people that are focusing on it together. And then we bring this, you know, very advanced, I don't know if advanced is the word, but we bring this, you know, this expertise to you, looking at different aspects, but then we look at you at an individual level and bring you the right piece of advice at the right moment for you. So I don't think you find that anywhere else, all bundled up, brought to you, packaged up nicely. It doesn't exist yet. So I think that's what I love the most about what we're doing, and, you know, gets me excited every day working with you guys, is how we bring that together and deliver it in an easily manageable way for all of our users.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, often, like, you know, people always have to have that event, right, to back meaningful change. Mike, you talked about this. We've taken people's behaviors they're already doing. We've taken their behaviors, they're already interacting with their wearable, they're already interacting with their phone. We took those behaviors, and it's like, how do we sneak this information in there? How do we ensure that we're giving them the best chance for leading a healthier lifestyle? Like, literally, the definition of health is the absence of disease or illness. Like, that's the definition in the dictionary. And so right there tells you what we're trying to do. Like, we're trying to empower people to be able to make healthy decisions. One, to have the information to do so, and then two, to make healthy decisions in order to be able to, whatever goal. You know, when you set up a profile with us, one of the first things is like, what's your accountability mission? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And then we go from there.
And I love that it's not the same for everybody. You know, nobody has to lose weight. You know, everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. What is important to you? And here's this community and this entire system focused on you at a holistic level. And we're going to help you achieve it and provide you that support system. And I think that's the most exciting thing we're doing.
Well, there's that also that a book, I forget who the author was, Nudge. It talked about the power of small nudges for an individual to make impactful change. What it did is a great job of outlining all the research on just the little things that happen in our daily life that nudge us towards success or nudge us towards failure. So I think the hope for me also is, it brings me back to a time, I don't know, years ago when I was meeting with Megan, and I was asking her all these questions. I was like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? Tell me what to do. And then she just like looked back at me and was like, she just like breathed, and she said, Zach, you know. And like that moment I was like, okay, like all of these things that I was doing to kind of get to this space when I was a lot heavier than I am now. I don't know if she knew this or not, but I don't know if you remember.
So.
Yeah. she implemented a perfect mindfulness technique, which was just to breathe, just to remind me of all of the things that I've set up in my life to make it so that I'm going down the right path. I just wasn't meeting the goals that I wanted to meet as fast as I wanted to meet them. And it was just that little nudge of, Zach, you know. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna go get back at it.
My name is Misty Cametti. I have been using the app since it launched back in mid-May. I enjoy the friendships that I've made on it and seeing what other people are doing. It's very motivating and encouraging to me, especially when I wake up in the morning and I think, I don't want to work out today, or it's too busy, or I'm tired, or this aches or that aches. Then I look at somebody else who's done their workout and I think, okay, I got to do this. I'm most proud of the fact that this is the longest that I've ever stuck with a program to improve my own health by either eating or exercising. I've always been an exerciser on and off, but I've never really been as interested in keeping up with it. Something will sidetrack me and I'll get off track. So I'm most proud of that, and I've dropped some weight and inches in the process, so I'm definitely happy about that. The app definitely motivates me. I feel like I've been part of some groups and some challenges on there, and that's very motivating because when other people are working towards a common goal, you feel like you really need to contribute to it. So I've enjoyed being part of those goals and challenges. My workout buddy, I'd say she's probably the reason that I've stuck with it most. She's been super duper encouraging to me, and I've received a lot of suggestions from her for certain exercises or certain things to work on, different form issues I have, or if I have a problem with, like say my back's aching today and I don't feel like doing a certain exercise, I'll just contact her and say, hey, give me some suggestions for this, and we go back and forth. So That's definitely been a drive for me. I enjoy eating, I enjoy food, I enjoy sweets especially, and that is my crutch, something I struggle with every single day and making better food choices. So I'll be really excited to see what's going to happen when the nutrition side of it launches. If I could say anything about the app, I would definitely recommend that you use the app, put it on your phone, reference it often. I look at it several times a day because I want to see what my teammates are doing, what kind of workouts they've done. I've also been part of several group conversations where we just share what we're eating for the day. And it's really easy if you're not having somebody hold you accountable to kind of slip under the radar and think, oh, I'm gonna have this extra cookie, or I'm gonna have, whatever it is that you shouldn't be eating. But when you know you're being held accountable to somebody and you have to admit your transgressions, it makes it a lot more difficult to cheat, so to say. So it's helped me there. Just the app is wonderful. The teammates are wonderful. Everybody is very encouraging. I really only know a few people on the app personally, but there are several users on the app, and they all kind of give you shout outs when you work out, and we all comment on each other, and it's just very encouraging and motivating. So I would definitely recommend the app.
Sara, and I've been on the app since it launched May 15th. The things I get most excited about when using the app is seeing what everyone else has done. I like to also post my stuff and what I've done, but I love seeing how other people have done stuff as well, and I can steal from it and use it too. I did win our challenge. I am very competitive, so I don't want to be involved in something if I don't think I'm going to win it. For that, I like that we have goals, because I'd rather just have a goal, go at it, and not try to overdo it myself. I like that there's challenges though, because they will push me far more than any goal would. We've done the charity walk, which I loved. I love doing anything to philanthropic and helping people out. So that was great. And it kept me walking, and I'm not a top walker. I've set running goals multiple times because I despise it. I think it's awful, but I know my body appreciates it. And so I'll set goals for running to just do once a week, but it makes me do it because I have my teammates and I've said I'm gonna do this, so I have to do it with them. I do that with yoga too. I also do not like yoga, and I know it's good for me, so I will set a goal to do that continuously with teammates, and it makes me get up and do it. The apps completely helped with my accountability for myself and how I feel like I should or could be with other people. I like having people to work out with, even if I don't have to be with them, because I'm going to get up and work out, and I don't necessarily need or want someone to have to be there with me or to push me. But if I have them around me virtually, it's very helpful to make me do it. I'm actually really excited for the calendar part of TĒM App, because I think it'll help other people who say they're going to do something but don't necessarily do it. And if they are held accountable to a calendar date, it won't be as easy to push it off. I'm excited for that to be functioning. And I love the nutrition idea. I like sharing recipes. I like having to tell somebody if I've done anything wrong, some suggestions. I'm also big on mental health. I think that's huge. I'm interested to see how that works out with everything. This TİM t-shirt is my favorite t-shirt. All of them, not just the black one. They're the softest shirts in the world. That's what I tell anybody who gets it. Isn't it the softest? And they really are. So you can snuggle up in it if you're hanging out, or just wear it working out, or anywhere.